Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're trying some stuff. We're trying some stuff. The biggest thing we're trying is hopefully now, based on what the everything is telling me, now, now you should not. Now we should be good. I had a discussion with my co-host last night, and hopefully now I have a couple of ideas on how to handle things in the future. I'm gonna try some stuff, both for myself and for everybody else. Uh, but we're going to keep doing this because the big thing is knowing what to do with that time. But I digress. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, Isaac MCCanary. I have I have a kettle of fish. I have a kettle of fish that we'll get into at some point, probably when it becomes topical, because it will become topical in about 53 minutes and 53 seconds. So, yeah, we're gonna do some more artwork. There's a couple more things I want to try to concept art, but I definitely want to start one full piece today. I definitely want to start one full piece today, and I think we're getting to a point that if I can't think of any concept art to work on, I should start on real pieces. There's always work for me to do. There's always work for me to do. That won't change. That definitely won't change. So, mainly right now, I need to work on what will probably end up just being the spacecraft that my people play on. And today's close enough to the 1st of September. Today will be the reveal of what the fuck I've been working on. In October, I have talked about how we will be doing a live play, but I haven't said what system it is. The system that we will be using is a system titled Mothership that Sean actually found. I don't know when he found it, but he found it on the internet, and he's actually a big enthusiast of just finding game systems. He's collecting them, in fact. I believe he now has a copy of Mothership, which is super cool, by the way. If you have not seen Mothership, it's really, really nice if you're a big fan of things like Alien and The Thing and stuff like that. It's got a really cool aesthetic as far as like just tabletop system goes. Like it just looks cool. It just looks really, really nice. And I am a huge science fiction horror fan. I am. Believe it or not, I'm a huge fan of the science fiction. I don't know if people knew that. But with that in mind, I was like, man, I've wanted to work. I've wanted to finish that game that I started so many years ago, and we were looking at Mothership because we've also started a couple of different things. We've been playing an Age of Darkness game that's being run by Jackson, which has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that. Sean's running a game of his own, and recently I've started to get that worm that you get when you see that everybody else is doing a tabletop thing, and you're just like, I have ideas. I have ideas. So I was like, fuck it. You know what? We've done a live play session. We've done a couple live play sessions as of last year, and honestly, they were both fun and they were really, really good, and they were really good experiences for the kind of thing that I want to do, which is why today I definitely want to talk about what our intent is whenever we do a live play. Because I think one thing to kind of put on the board, if you will, to like kind of make clear is that when we do a live play, I think it is going to be already more different than I think. I mean, I don't stream conventionally. I need to. Anybody at this point who's joining, I'm just gonna say I'm never gonna conventionally stream like a normal person. I don't. I just don't. Not even because I think it's right. It's just the way that I do things, and I can't do anything right. I can't do anything the way that anyone expects people to do it. I certainly can't do it in a way that, would be more effective, but I feel like meh. I'd rather keep on beating my head against a brick wall in the hopes that I can do it the way that would make me happy rather than doing it the way that works for everyone, and I can't. I can't do that. But I digress. Um, one of the big things is that we are going to be very performative focused. We're going to be very performative focused first. So, in our intent, the last couple times that we've done live plays, I think it's important to establish, and I mean I treat my stream this way anyways, as best as possible, is if we get like, engrossed in a conversation or something, like we'll always do our best to try to engage with chat. It's never that we're never going to try to engage with chat. But a lot of the focus of what I like to do here is more probably podcasty, but I don't have the time or the budget or the audience to do a podcast. I would rather it be a stream, because at least then if people want to say something and we catch something, yeah. That's the big thing, is like I want to be able to admit that I want the benefit of being able to be like, oh, hey, somebody said something and I can respond to it. And then flip side, sometimes I don't. I do want to be able to be like, I don't want to respond to that, which is rough, because I think that there is a bit of a expectation that if you are streaming, you're going to respond to everyone or almost everyone, and that's rough. That's rough, buddy. I just don't. I would say I'm more of a people person than I was given credit, but I'm not still as much of a people person as I wished I was. I can't respond to everything. I don't think anyone can. Or if you can, I'm proud of you. I do my best. I'm more people person than the average non-people person is. I will admit that. But that aside, when it comes to our live sessions, and this is like just something I kind of want to like cement for like the channel as a whole, because it's not supposed to be like personal. It's not supposed to be even negligent. It's just kind of how we do. Is like I want to focus on the performance and the presentation of the stream first, more than anything else. Even in moments like this where I'm streaming by myself, it's a performance. It's a different kind of performance when it's solo like this, because a lot of it is. Hey, don't. What? Oh no! Sorry. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Sorry, I have to attend to my cat. My cat's freaking out. What? What? Are you threatening me? Why are you threatening me? Why are you threatening me? Throw it back at him. Well, calm down. One of the things that, wow, that completely wow, full of shit. Can't even fucking uh hold to their word. Um, guilty as charged, I guess. What I was trying to say though is a lot of this for me is much less about streaming and much more about being a kind of like performance. Probably both for better or for worse. It means that if I'm having days like Thursday, which do happen, not Thursdays, I mean days like this most recent Thursdays, the performance can be hard. Performance is work. It is work. And a lot of people don't stream to perform. And I get it. Like, if you don't need to, that's totally fine. I kind of do. I do. I was secretly a fucking drama kid at heart my whole goddamn life, and I just never got to do drama because I never thought I'd be good at it, because nobody told me I would, because nobody told me I'd be good at anything. But, I feel like if I would have gotten into drama, I would have been at least, like, I would have had a better time in high school, definitely. Um, because like doing like a performance art of some kind, doing like an act, even like a comedy act, is still more enjoyable to me. And that's the thing to remember, is like the thing I want to cement here, that I want to be able to provide, even if, it still is taking some time. It will take longer than the bog standard way, is that people are going to want to watch this to like be able to get essentially a comedy routine and get a performance, and then in the case of this Mothership game, are going to get, a live play story. Like, and I know it's possible. I think that's the reason why I get like kind of a little hung up on this, is that I know it's possible. I don't want to quit now. I know people could do it. I know people do it. I know it's possible. I know it's possible to do this stuff. And I want to do this stuff. Really? Now you're gonna... Wow, I really had to make it stop doing that, huh? You're gonna go up a little bit. And that's my whole thing, I guess, is that I still want to be able to be like, yeah, I'm just doing a performance. I'm doing these largely to continue to grow my own work. I mean, this does give me a space to be able to work at the same time as doing other things. But I just mainly like being able to do a kind of more performative action. I really do. I didn't even know until like I met my like current friend group that like doing something performative is something I enjoy doing. Um because I've always been a little bit performative at heart. At heart, I've always like cared about performance to a certain extent, even if it's performance in the sense of less of like doing well and more of the sense of like doing something entertaining. That's the big thing for me, is like I like performance in the idea that I'm putting on a show rather than I'm doing good. That makes sense. I do think I don't need to do well to feel like I'm performing, but I do need to feel like I'm doing something. And when it comes to wanting to do this tabletop game, and the thing that I really enjoyed about the live sessions we've had, and I am a little nervous about, but again, I think I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. I need to remember something important. Actually, this game is based off of, the setting that this game is based off of, it wasn't a failure. I need to stop thinking that it was. It wasn't. The only thing about it that went wrong has nothing to do with the game. It actually had nothing to do with the game. It had everything to do with timing. Timing was rough. Timing had been rough for a long time. I had like kind of gotten into tabletop, and then like in college is when I started, and when I did the most intense tabletop, I think, was actually kind of during college for a while. And then college ended. All my friends and I were trying to figure out how to have a stable life, which is not easy to do. That's not easy to do. I don't think that's easy for anyone to do. Um, we were trying to figure that kind of thing out. Uh, and like I do think that when I was there's a couple things that I do want to like make sure that I am better about with this, since it's going to be more public anyways. There are some things I definitely want to change regarding the overall tone, but I do want to like cut myself a little bit of slack and be like, no, no, I just need to do it, and I know I can do it, and that the games that I've run might have had problems, but I think I was attributing a little bit of their quote unquote failure to a lack of interest in wanting to play them. And I have to remember it actually was more of a problem of just things got in the way, which happens. It happens. Why I'm kind of like, if there's anything I've learned at this point, if I can do it live, I will actually probably get it more done than I would have done if I had to do it any other time. Like, if I can live stream things, I will actually do them, which is both good and bad because it means I've kind of built up a little bit of a behavior, a little bit of a habit, as the appropriate terminology would demand it, of being like, I'll just stream it, which has meant that I have kind of not been the best at trying to find time outside of streaming to do work on things, but it does make it really difficult because I have very little time outside of streaming, actually. Um, which is its own existential horror that I am dealing with every day. Dealing with it, though. And dealing with it. But as far as like a live play goes, the live plays that we held last year, we did a little bit of Heart. We did a game that Jackson wanted to run with Sean, Savannah, his wife, and me. That went really, really well. I really enjoyed that one. And just, I have to remember that actually the games that I have run, the actual games I have run are they're good. The people have liked them, and that I have enjoyed running them as well. Like that's a big thing, is that I've actually enjoyed running them as well. God, I'm trying to fuck it. Spaceships. I want this to be like a big turbine engine. Let's just try looking up 37 first. I don't know what the hell I just Googled, and I don't know what I just got. Because I want an engine. Bit. I need a fucking shot of the turbine engine and profile. Sometimes you gotta look up a reference to just be able to fucking draw something. Just to be able to put it on paper. Is. Is. Funny is, it's like that. Have it kind of cone down. I actually hadn't drawn a spaceship yet, and honestly, my original intent was to draw like a couple of different spaceship designs, but I might just be like, screw it, you guys get this one, because I need something that's ready for you, not something that gives all the This is something I'm learning that I think is a hard thing with tabletop sometimes, that uh, I think I did get a little bit of a scare, though I have to remember this was only a criticism in the sense of like it was something I was doing, not something I was that was bad. Um I think railroading is something that I want to try to avoid, but I can't make options for everything, if that makes sense, even if I want to. Though given this setting, it might make sense to not. It might make sense not to have an option for this, because in reality, they probably don't. They probably don't have an option. The option, what they have is what they get, largely speaking. Trying to trying to capture the curvature. which was the intent anyways. That's why I was like, they don't. One of the things about Mothership is you can craft ships, but actually it is like explicitly described because unless you decide to do this, it is more likely in this game because it is very alien inspired, and it is very alien inspired. Like it literally has a section in the GM's guide. The GM of Mothership is contextualized as a warden, which is clever. I like that. Um, but it is contextualized that the warden um, can it has an entire section on company involvement and corporate involvement. So it's like, and then if you go to their kind of ship breaking guide, and their ship designer, um, it explicitly says that the players should not design the ship. It is something that the GM designs based on the game they want to run, which is fair. And this is something that it's like nice to be able to give players as many options as possible, but I have to remember a lot of the what I personally like about Mothership is a lot of its creative tools are GM oriented. They're very much, and this might be selfish, but they're very much oriented towards giving the GM the tools to kind of like craft their setting and scenarios and everything going on, um, for the players to interact with rather than the other way around. There's still plenty of good tables. There's still plenty of great tables to generate things on, which is something that also Mothership does do very well. I mean, the freaking panic and stress mechanic is super super cool and super fun. I'm very excited for that. I think it's a good. I'm really excited as a person who likes creative damage models in their games, especially in their tabletop games, because sometimes I think that damage models get a little bit too simplistic. I actually think they get a little bit too simplistic sometimes, which is like blah. Uh, Sorry guys, I'm not a D&D guy. I've come to learn because I find that either it feels like your health is you are alive until you die, or you have something catastrophically bad happen to you, and there's like no in between. And the game isn't designed to support when that happens sometimes. Actually, I want this to be like. Yeah. But Mothership does a pretty good job of being more about trying to give the GM all the tools they need to give like a good medium between a more constrained experience as well as a more engaged experience, if that makes sense. Oh, interesting. I might have. We'll try this. There. Go that here. Learning how to do ship. I'm learning how to use a ruler is really what I'm learning. Yes. It turns out, people, the ruler is going to be your best friend when it comes to drawing. I've learned an important lesson as I've been doing this more, is that if whenever I'm doing very exact or precise work, I need a ruler. Which makes sense. That's what the ruler is for. It makes sense. Yeah, that's open. Anything? Gonna put no. We're gonna leave that open. I want to have a bit of a bulbous head. I don't know why. This is also something I picked up on with like working more with a ruler and stuff is like the ruler is just to get my shapes, like my most symmetrical shapes, and then I go in and I more freehand. That helps a lot too. That's jutting out. Uh, I don't know. I've kind of gotten into blueprinting a little bit. It's fun. I like doing stuff like this. There we go. But we're going to be running Mothership, and the biggest things that Mothership does is, as far as mechanics go, that I like, is that it really does a lot to try to apply tension through the use of die mechanics in a way in which, for starters, and this is something that I'm going to be like, you know what, I'm going to be vocal about this, and I have contingencies already prepared in the event. That's a big thing, is I think I want to, like, and the game kind of wants to support this as well, for better and for worse, I think, a little bit. Because the who was it that we watched? There was somebody. There was a thing that we watched. Let me look him up really fast. We watched a reviewer who also did a good video on People Make Games about tabletop games. That's also really, really good. What the oh, did that just... What the shit? Huh? Okay, that breaks it. I can't do that. Never mind. But yeah, I'll look it up. It immediately fixed. I'll look it up really fast. That's interesting, though. I did not know that that was going to happen. Here, maybe if I do this. Okay, that worked. Let's see. Mothership review. Quinn's Quest. Everybody go check out Quinn's Quest. If you want insight on the system that we're going to use, definitely check out Quinn's Quest. He goes through an overview of the system of Mothership, and it's really, really good. It's really, really, really good. Um, uh, but one of the big things that Mothership does that I really, really like, that I'm really excited for, but is kind of a criticism, is it is structured in a way that you should not feel too attached to your character. And I want to try to hit a medium on that, where I do still want my players to be attached to the character they make. Character creation is incredibly easy, to a bit of a fault that he kind of points out, that I kind of agree with, that I think all my friends agree with, is that you kind of get this sense that you can't really feel invested in the character you're about to play, because it feels like you're specifically designing a character that is going to die, or is very likely to die. And I think this will be a challenge for me, because for starters, I don't think I've seen a PC death in a game. And that's not because we're bad DMs, and I don't think we couldn't do a PC death, but I will admit, a lot of the games I play, even the games when I'm designing a game, I do not take player death into account, because I don't want my players to die. Ironically, I don't want them to die, which is why I'm saying this is a good test for me, because the system is specifically designed with the understanding that your players are going to die, because it is specifically designed to be a science fiction horror in which pretty much every player is expected to be a red shirt. Like, there is an expectation that players can be red shirts too, is essentially the idea. And that they want death to be entertaining, actually. They want it to be a part of the experience, that you are going to die. There is a high likelihood you are going to die. It is a very hostile game, and it's not your fault if you die. Like, it's not a bad thing. It will add to the experience. It won't detract from it, or at least that's my understanding, and that's what I'm designing my current game around, is the idea that, yes, it actually has the teeth, that if a player dies, it is kind of to be expected, and to be prepared for that. And I personally have gone out of my way to be like, you know what? If this system is going to risk people's lives that much, I need to have my own expectations on what happens when a player dies, which I had never had to consider before. Because again, a lot of my games, maybe I would really put them in danger or harm players, but I never was like, yeah, my players could die. Because I've never been put in a player situation which my character could die. And I guess I will admit a little bit selfishly, and something that I've been kind of working on my own is I think that sometimes gets in the way of my own play sometimes, because I don't. It's not that I don't think bad things can happen to my character, but I certainly am like, I put a lot of like investment in the character that I design when I do character design, and there is a little bit of selfishness to feel like I don't want my character to just get killed by something stupid or something dumb or just bad luck or stuff like that. Like, I do at least want to believe that if I have to experience a PC death, that it'd be a PC death a little earned based on like the circumstances and not just, well, you rolled bad, bud. Whereas this game says that I feel like it at least tries to compensate with the dual function of A, it is very easy to roll. It is like just very easy to roll up a character. It takes like no time at all. Like, it's incredibly simplistic. And I think that is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. And then it really feels like you are encouraged that when you die, you actually make your death matter. Like, it is written, rules is written that if you die, it's your moment. It's your big moment. You get to make your death matter, which is cool. Like, that's a big thing that I don't think I've even seen any system kind of tackle, as far as like actually making it rules as written a mechanic. Like, you need to supply your players that with the understanding that they can die, they will probably die, and if they die, it's their moment. It is not yours as a GM. It is not yours to just kill your players. It is your players' experience that they get killed, essentially. Like, it is on them, and when they get killed, it should be about them. It should be about them. And it should matter. Their death should matter, even if it's them getting killed in a red shirt style. And I think that's super cool. And that's like just something I'd never thought of that I'm going to use in every game now, so that way PC death can actually exist. Because again, I didn't think I would ever design a game where it is possible for my PCs to die, because I never considered that death in a tabletop game isn't just a game over, because unfortunately I come from video games, not from tabletop. So I've never been in the place to have a PC death. I've never been in a place to be experiencing a PC death. I've been in a place to experience a lot of bad PC consequences to things that were just bad rolls, which fair. But I think one of the things that I want to implement in the future for even things like that, when like something tragic or awful happens that happened not because the player even did anything wrong, but because the dice just did not give them a break, is to make sure that it's about the player, not about the dice ultimately, right? Like, you know, this is something your character might have done trying to do something else, but make sure to make it about what the player is. Make it at least feel like it's like in the player's interest, or like the player's, like, at least I think there needs to be a dialogue on failure sometimes when it comes to failing. Like, maybe I might need to be more like, I want to test this, because I remember the time when I was even better at this, at just doing it on my own, is when a player fails, try to ask them how they fail and like workshop it with them. So that way at least they feel like, oh yeah, that's what happened. Like, yeah, I failed, but at least I failed this way. So that way the player doesn't feel like, yay, everything is bad. And I'm sure I can't do that all the time, but I do definitely want to try it on some level. I do want to try PC failure from a PC perspective. Like, if you're going to fail, how did you actually fail? And obviously it can't just be like, oh, nothing bad happens. Like, obviously, like, no, think about it. What bad thing happened to you? Like, actually bad thing happened to you. So that way at least the player feels like, you know, they're helping right the bad things that are happening to them instead of just having bad things happen to them. Maybe I'm being selfish. I don't know. Probably, but I want to try it. I want to at least try it because I will admit I sometimes have a hard time. I have a hard time even in understanding that it's a game, being able to. It's not about being able to separate so much as it's about being able to um feel like you're doing anything worth doing, and that is something that sometimes happens in every game. There is a thing that I even understand having done tabletop that I think is actually a real problem of tabletop is the player response of I don't want to waste a roll by not taking a specific action because they are worried that in taking that action, all they are going to do is fail and make things worse. When in reality, good tabletop and good tabletop play should be about action economy, not about did I succeed? Like, everybody wants to succeed on their roles, but you can't succeed on every role. That is something that at least I do genuinely understand. I do understand that. I promise I do understand that. And there's a kind of a problem. There's kind of a design problem in tabletop in which there's sometimes this reluctance to take action because what is the point in taking an action if your failure is going to only make things worse? How do you design around that? And I think that that is more of a like a combination of a game design like struggle as much as it is a just a DM struggle, because I think sometimes it is pretty easy to be like, yep, you fucked up, when I think what I want to try to put myself, and no one's perfect, I will probably forget or probably miss or probably misread something or just do the easy thing. Sometimes it is just easier to do the easy thing, like, yep, you fucked up, sorry bud, your guy fucked up. I do think it's at least worth being cognizant and a challenge to myself to be like, I can't just say that they fucked up. I can't just say that a character fucks up. Nobody likes hearing that they fuck up, as far as I know. I even, for a long time, I thought I could have that mindset, and I'll admit, no, I can't. I don't. I don't like knowing I fucked up. I actually don't. So I wanna see if there's some way to at least bridge that middle gap, so that way, and that's something that actually Mothership does handle pretty well. It does actually handle it pretty well. Is Mothership has, or at least attempts. It at least attempts. I think it does attempt it, and I think it does attempt it at a decently well. It does want to be like, it wants to have a range. It wants to have ranges of success. And you can have near successes and near failures where you have a negative consequence to have something happen, or you have a success but a negative consequence happens, or you have a failure but at least you got some progress. That, I think, is the best kind of failure design, is being able to be like, always give your players breadcrumbs. Like, never just outright say they do or don't, in my opinion. Like, give them breadcrumbs, and if something fails spectacularly. That's actually my genuine belief, is like, if you fail spectacular, if you fail completely, make it an entertaining failure. I don't know. So, but also it can be headspace too. It can be headspace too. That I will take, responsibility for. Sometimes I'm just not in the headspace to fail, which, baby, that's a me problem. That is a me problem. Hey, I'm fallible. I am fallible. Everybody fallible. Sometimes it's hard to fail. Sometimes it is still hard to fail. It is. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is difficult to fail, in the sense of like, failure is sucks. Failure is sucks. It'll happen, and you still do need to face it, but it is sucks. So it goes both ways, I think. Oh wow. Okay, I zoomed out and I was like, oh wow, no, yeah, fuck it. This I'm putting enough work into this. This is probably going to be their spacecraft, and then it's going to be geared with whatever they're going to be doing. I think that's the best way to handle this. I want to make something that's a generic ship design, which kind of makes sense in the setting. I like the idea that everything has been tried to be distilled and then specialized to fit a role rather than been made specifically for the role that they're intended for. There's still like specific ships for it, but like if you're generalized work, which this is going to be generalized work that's going to be fitted to a job, that this is just the company buying a very stock kind of like ship and then outfitting it to do a job. So it's got a little bit of cargo space, it's got a little bit of living space, it's got a little bit of everything. I like the idea, actually. These being kind of open. The vacuum space. Actually, no. Based on the way it's shaped, yeah, it would be. Because if it was shaped like this would have to curve down. Like, if I wanted it to be like this, it would have to be like that. Maybe? I do like that. Should still be R. Do I like that? I don't know if I like that. Sometimes you just gotta make decisions. Sometimes the hardest part of being an artist is that you have to make decisions. You don't always know if those decisions are gonna be good or not. You have to make decisions. This is why I cheat and I say that I only like to draw dinosaurs, because dinosaurs don't need that many straight lines. Though that said, I do probably need to implement more straight lines in my dinosaur drawings. Honest to God, I probably need more straight lines in my dinosaur drawings. I need to be willing to do straight lines more. Get better at something I don't do at all. There. That gives it a little bit more texture too. I always like these kind of like honeycomb window structures. I don't know why. They look cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that'll be. So the idea I have behind this ship is that it has two decks. It has an upper deck and a lower deck. Upper deck is got, a cockpit, a couple rooms here, maybe a room inside here, and then or maybe like a central passage here, a couple rooms here in the back, and then it has a lower deck that has a lot more of the like infrastructure. So like a lot of the generator and stuff is down in this half with like a cargo section here in the bottom. This is supposed to be like a cargo bay. Need to figure out like landing gear. This is the stuff I want to think about more. Do like the idea that they couldn't quite fit it, so the landing gear kind of hang out, because why would you? There's no resistance in space. There ain't no resistance in space. But yeah, the other thing that I like that this game does, though, is that I want to adapt it to still be more survival horror. So if people do die, it's because they I I think that this game does a really good job with injuries and feeling like a good medium between things like you can really design, and I feel this way anyways. I think you can really design um creature design to feel as lethal as you need it to be without taking away their no pun intended teeth. Um because there's a lot of very versatile status effects based on injuries. And the injuries are very contextualized, and they are something that are inflicted on the player that they have to deal with unless they or die, and that they really encourage players to try to think consciously about how they approach an encounter, and then how an encounter changes depending on the injuries that those players sustain. Um, so you do get a feeling of like that kind of like survival horror in between, where combat feels lethal all the time, but you are just eking out alive every single time as long as you're surviving an encounter and not tanking hits like 3 or 4 times. Like if you let yourself tank like one then you have to figure out how to deal with it and how to get out of the situation, which the game is designed around. They really also put a point that combat is quote unquote a failure, and I think I want to put an asterisk on that. I think combat is a tool and should always be implemented as such, and that I want to put it on the players that if they use combat, there might be consequences for it, but I definitely don't want to discourage them from utilizing combat, since this is still a survival horror focused game. And I do think that they emphasize that if you're constantly fighting, like if you're fighting every single encounter, then you're making a mistake, because good survival horror should have players weighing flight or fight. You should be able to, and you should be doing that within an encounter. You should be deciding, is it time for me to fight or is it time for me to run in the same encounter multiple times. Um, Let me look at some. I'm going to try looking at Stromo ship landing gear. I don't know what the little. There are these. That's this. I don't know how I found this, but I found just the leg of the landing ship from Alien. I did find it. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's good detail work, actually, to note. That was kind of what I was going for. Now, guys, it should warn me somewhere. I'm gonna see if it'll warn me here, and if it doesn't, that's gonna be annoying. If that it didn't earlier, but it should warn me over here. But if it doesn't, that's not good. I do need this open here. I know what'll make this better for me. There we go. That's what I need to see. That's what I need to see. There. Actually, no. Given the way that this works, it does need to. This will be stupid, though. Because the way that I have this designed, and I like the idea of this, actually, it is going to have... We're going to have this. I need to look up... Let's look up the... Yeah, just... Because it's... I think it is... this way. And it has a wheel on both sides. Then it has, like, a central pylon. Essentially. Something like that. And then this will come down. And it'll swing down. Like that. It'll swing down like that. I love the idea behind spaceships sometimes just being, like, shaped in a specific way that it's less that the ship is designed to be aerodynamic and that it's just designed to be able to get into space, because once you're in space it doesn't matter what the shape is. There's no air resistance. So why this engine is so fucking big. I also am a big fan of a big engine like this, and then, like, I have ideas. I like me my retrograde style boosters. Landing and such not, and doing things in space. Okay, good. It did tell me. That's good to know. All right, everybody. Well, here's my idea. Here's my plan, everyone. You got anyone who isn't subscribed? We'll see you in a few minutes. I will probably continue working and chatting. If you want to be able to hear what I'm talking about, you could always watch the VOD on YouTube. And if you definitely don't want ads there, I can't recommend it. So there are ways to not have ads on YouTube, though. So this is the thing. This is the tough thing. And this might be a good time to talk about this, actually, a little bit, is my feelings on this. Because when I started this, I do like pre-roll ads better. I like pre-roll ads better. The reason why I like pre-roll ads better is because the kinds of people that would have the patience to get through a pre-roll ad are probably going to have the patience to watch the rest of everything. But apparently that's not a lot of people, maybe. I don't know. That's a weird thing. Is, like, at this point, I think that for me, personally, see, this is also why it sucks. Is, like, I'm like, now I have to, I gotta stop. I feel like I have to stop. Yuck. I don't like that. I actually don't like that. I want this to be a continuous viewing experience. I want this to be, which is why I want to maintain that if you want the full continuous experience of watching this without subscribing, definitely watch the VODs. I think that's what I'm just going to have to be like, is like, if you want for me at least on solo, if you want the continuous viewership, watch the VODs on Twitch. Hey, there it goes. That's nice. Wait, ad break ends in 3 minutes? Oh, wait, no. Now it started. Okay, that's good to know. We're all learning, everybody here. We're all learning. I don't know how any of this works. But I think essentially I think I will take a moment on these. We're just gonna have chill time, maybe talk about something. I do agree with my friends. Like, if it does give people time if they need to go to the restroom or something. However, I do still like the idea of, if you want to support the channel and live view, being able to do that, to be able to have this, like, kind of like chill moment. Yeah, I think so. I don't want a full like ad screen and everything. I don't necessarily agree with that. Um, it's tough. I think it's tough. I think maybe this is just discussion time. Maybe this is just discussion time. You want my full attention, you can have it as a subscriber during an ad break, because this is still time to like do stuff and like engage with it. So I don't know. It's tough, and I'm already at least noticing like, yeah, I'm now making 30 cents instead of 10 cents a stream. That is a lot more. So I might have to start doing it. And I mean, like, if it's the best for people who are coming in, sure. Like, people, I didn't think that people cared about pre rolls that much because either A, you're ad blocking it, there. Like, if you can find a way to ad block Twitch, proud of you. I actually haven't been able to. That's a weird thing. People got upset at YouTube, but nobody seems to know how to ad block Twitch. I don't think anybody has found a way. Or if they did at one point, they found a way to do it and then nobody cared after that. But I mean, if I'm going to use this platform, I should use it semi-correctly. And I'm figuring that out. That's a me journey that I'm going on. I'm trying to actually figure out how to get between this and Twitch. It's still awkward though, and it is change, and it's not how I grew up with the internet, and it's not how I thought I would be interacting with the internet as time went on, and it's not necessarily what I want to do. So, as soon as this ends, will be like, if you want to hear what I talked about, make sure to go watch the VOD. That's what that at the end of every one of these, I'll say like, if you want to know what we talked about, that's how you'll know what we talked about. It's just weird. It is weird. I'm mixed. And if you want to know what we talked about, if you want to know what I talked about, well, go watch the VOD. It is taking me some getting used to, and I'm trying to figure out a good middle point for it. Because again, if it does give me the opportunity to walk away and like go to the restroom, take a break or whatever, I mean, sure. But I didn't start streaming the way that I stream to take very many breaks. Like, I'll admit that. And again, I know I probably streamed the worst way. I stream for about 2 hours. Most people probably expect people to stream for about 4 to 6 hours. I just can't do it. It's not what I enjoy doing. It's not the kind of content I want to make, which is also its own awkward kind of like. It's just tough. It's just really, really tough. It's really tough to figure out how to manage that. I don't know how to manage it, is the thing. It's awkward. I haven't been able to figure it out. I really haven't. Yeah, I'll put the other wheels there, but this wheel definitely goes there. And it will pop down. It'll swing down like that. I need to look up. Funny is that is particularly thin. The picture. And there's not. There's like. Got a color here. Got that there. Something there. I don't know. I at least want to try. I'm at least cognizant that I want to do things more right. I am cognizant of that, but it is a bit of a burden, for better or for worse, mostly for worse, that I've kind of like been on for not an unsubstantial amount of time. Like, I'm not here to be. I want to see something work. I do want to see something work, and I need compromise is more of what I need, because I don't want to just do it. I want to know that I'm doing it in good conscience and that I am actually okay with doing it, I guess. That's all that I care about when I'm doing this. I don't like if it does actually help. Okay, yeah, I do want something to succeed, believe it or not. I just don't want to do it because everybody else is doing it. I want to make sure that it's doing it because it's what actually works best for me, and not just because it works best for everyone else. Because if there's anything that I've learned, works best for everyone else doesn't always work best for me. It just doesn't. I don't know why I'm that way. I don't know why my brain is that way, but it just actually doesn't. And usually what works best for me seems to not work for anyone else, which is also a shame. Which is a pretty tough place. This is an admission of, man, I don't know what works because what works for me seems to only work for me 90% of the time. And what works for everyone else just doesn't. It doesn't click with me. I don't know why it doesn't. It's a thing that I've kind of struggled with and has kind of alienated me in some ways, both for worse and for worse. Actually, it's for worse and for worse. It is left me, you know, oftentimes feeling like people just don't get it, which is fair. Sometimes you don't get it. That's not anyone's fault. Don't have to. I actually don't believe that. I don't believe anybody has to get anything I do. I do think sometimes, though, that I would rather still be doing what I do because I don't want to just do what everyone else is doing, because otherwise then I'm just competing against everyone doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. My kind of general philosophy that I've always at least wanted to believe is that if I'm going to compete, if I'm going to do any competition, why not compete in a way that other people aren't competing? Why not do something that other people aren't doing? Why not? Because at least you're doing something that nobody else is doing in a way that anybody else is doing to minimize that competition. Why would you just do what somebody else is doing all the time? And that's not to say that I don't understand the value of, you know, actually doing something based on what other people are doing. I mean, I look up references now and stuff. Like, I'm at least becoming a little bit more aware that I need to at least try to do what other people are doing. But still, what's the point in doing anything if you can't do it to separate yourself? What's the point in doing anything if you're just going to look like somebody else? I genuinely mean that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do anything if I just am doing what I saw somebody else do. Purely. I understand that I still have to get ideas from somewhere, and it is in my best benefit to still try to see what does right, but I still want it to be like, at least I'm making that decision, right? That I'm making a choice, that I'm making an informed decision on what I believe resonates to me, I guess. And it is through that resonance that I actually achieve something, and not just by doing the first thing that I see somebody else do that worked for them. I don't know. It's tough, though. It's really difficult. It's a really difficult problem, I think. It's a really difficult situation. I don't think it's easy to plan for either. I think it is something that everyone, not just me, that everyone who tries to do anything struggles with. Because if you want to really try to stand out, if you want to try to do things your own way, like me, you're at a disadvantage. No matter what. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. You're at a disadvantage. Because the thing that works has already been done, right? And, like, if you're not just trying to do what works, if you're trying to find something that works rather than do something that works, you're going to do a lot of things that don't work. Fair. I can't say, you can't, this is one thing, no one could ever fault me for at least not being cognizant of the situation I have put myself in. No one is more cognizant of my quality of life and efforts than me, which is why it's a little bit like, I want to prove people wrong. I don't. I think there is a middle ground here. I think there is a way to make whatever I'm fucking doing work. I do think that. No buts. I would have quit if I did. I would have quit a long time ago if I didn't think I could at least make it work. In some ways, I have. You always give yourself some credit. Credit of I'm doing something. I'm doing something right. If I'm doing anything right, I'm still doing stuff. I haven't stopped. And I'm growing connections and support all the time. So that I appreciate as well. I'm also getting better at the like kind of networking thing because I'll admit it's sometimes a little daunting and a little bit difficult to actually reach out to people because you don't want to seem desperate, but I think that's always in a bit. I think that's a bit in both the presentation and ultimately like what your goals are. Because actually, like, no, I do try to connect with people. Like, I don't. I do want to connect with the people that I'm reaching out to, and I'm trying to get better about how to do that. It is one of the things that I've kind of struggled with just in generally because in reality I do really like engaging with and interacting with people, and for me the hard part is getting to do that consistently. It unfortunately doesn't come as naturally as it should, being somebody who does like people, does like interacting with people. Like I've always been a little bit more people-y than other people sometimes are and have made me feel, I guess. Always liked being around people and interacting with people. Anything, it's usually the non-people who probably made me feel like I wasn't a people person because they weren't a people person, which is fair. Like, if you're not a people person, sure. Why would I make you be a people person if you're not? Like, I've at least kind of like understood that to some extent. Like, I would never make somebody who isn't super social try to be social with me. And even I have my limits. I think everybody does. I don't. I. That's why I'm like, I think. I think a lot of things are on a scale, and introversion is one of those things. Definitely, that's on some level of scale because it's kind of difficult to imagine that everybody that you could be social with everyone all the time and also the same people all the time, different people all the time the same way. I think that's important to remember too. I certainly grew up being under the impression that, being introverted or extroverted was a binary thing, and it's like not really. I think it's just dependent on the people you're around. It's dependent on if you really resonate with the people around you, I think, more than anything else. You don't, you're gonna feel like an introvert because you're not gonna want to be engaging with anything because you don't either get it, you don't care, or you don't enjoy it. Why would you resonate with anything that you don't enjoy? That's totally fair. I wouldn't blame anyone either, too. That said, I do try to be the kind of person who it's not so much that I take interest in everything, it's more that I know that there are things that I don't really know anything about, that there are people who really care about stuff like that. And at least if you're going to be interested passionately about something, like, yeah, why would I not want to hear what somebody says about that? I want to talk about dinosaurs all the time. So I think I've kind of hit a bit of an upper limit of that too, where I do try to be accommodating and has put me in some awkward positions, I will say, especially as streaming goes. So yeah, it's all a learning process. It's all about still establishing boundaries. Believe it or not, streamers got to establish boundaries too. That way. I want to be a little bit more efficient about that, but I don't think I can be. I want to get this lattice to be. I think, I don't know, I probably need a little bit of a breather day today anyways. Um, I'm kind of like, I'm not. If I end up just getting like just the spaceship and one of the paintings started, I'm gonna be happy. Because I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, it's not so much that I couldn't find more concept work to do. It's I'm kind of like reaching a point that I want to focus on the things that are going to be the most immediately relevant when the game starts. That is something that is really, really important to me, actually. That I'm like, I need to make sure that if nothing else, these things get done and established, and et cetera, et cetera. And I can't get too distracted, actually. I really can't get too distracted by other elements of design, because if I do, then I'm going to run out of time for the work that I actually need to get done, because ideally speaking, I'm going to be working alongside the play of this game. Like, I'm not going to suddenly be like, well, okay, I'm not immediately going to uh I'm not going to immediately stop doing design for the game just because the game is. Also, I'm just trying to figure out where to put this. Make it a little. Actually, no, because the rear landing gear. So that's the front landing gear, right? The rear landing gear need to come down somewhere, and they'll come down probably on the wings. So I would have to design the wingspan bigger. Nope. Yeah, it's gotta go here. These gotta go down here. These gotta fold. These gotta fold up and down here. Is the thing I have in mind. Fuck it. Engines on the engines. That's safe, guys. We'll put engines on the engines. I. Fuck it. This is space sci-fi. I can do whatever I want as long as it makes some sense. That's all that matters. Times sci-fi. Maybe like that. Make me get my ruler. Don't make me get my ruler. I'll do it. I mean, I just like the idea that the big engines are fixed. That's all. I don't want them to rotate. That feel very. It feel very too convenient. And the idea I have that buy these like these kind of like they have some limited rotation, but they're not the best at it. Well, man, now I'm thinking how to redesign them, actually. Hold on. Maybe we do. Do that. And then we horizontally rotate it. There. Why did that not do what I wanted? Oh, because I vertically rotated them. I was like, wait a second, that's not what I wanted. That's actually what I wanted. And the idea I have with this now is that they can fold up and down a little bit, but these are your retrogrades. These are your retrograde thrusters. These are your assist forward thrusters, and they have some rotation. That's the idea I have behind them. Like that. I want this to be an exit hatch. I want that to be an exit hatch of some kind. Get my ruler. Makes it's so funny. I like either use the ruler to start and then I stop using the happening. Yes, stop. Stop. Weird. Weird what that was about. I either start using the ruler and then stop using it to start like making bumps and stuff, or the opposite. I start making bumps and stuff and then go, this needs to be straighter, and then I start using the ruler, which I think is a good way to handle doing that. The idea is that this is like a hatch. Might even have like outside handles. But that's a hatch that can like open up that people can leave out this way. They can leave out the back. Got another set of wheels there for landing. Oh, wait. Yeah, why didn't that work? Why didn't that work? My brain is hurting. That hurts my brain. I'm not going to think about that. Sorry, that hurt my brain. I don't want to think about that anymore. Ain't that just the way sometimes? Do some of this. Something. Always about the combination. I like me blocky shapes. I like me blocky utilitarian shapes. I don't know why. It's always been something I like. Oh, I need to look up. Need to look up a reference picture. Have those there. One coming up. There. Why not? Just add a little bit of texture. A couple antennae. You need so many sensors in space. You need so many sensors in space. I like that profile though. And then like the idea I have. So we're gonna take this now, right? Oops. Not there. Here. Now I'm using my brain. Put that on a different layer. Hack it. There we go. Something like that. Something like that. And also, oops. Also good. There. There. And then if I ever need more, but ideally speaking, now, first off, I can hide these. I can hide my guidelines, which is nice. Learning. What learning looks like, guys. Just like this. Actually. And this is something that I... Look, I have to use a ruler. This is symmetrical. Beans. Actually, do this right. You can do this right. 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, it's so close, actually. A little bit thicker. Look at that. Ooh, things right. I can use a ruler correctly. I can use rulers correctly. Sometimes I think we get this idea that we can only do certain things. I sometimes think it's like, oh, I don't normally do oh well shit. Wrong layer. Sometimes we get this idea that we can only do like, oh, I do dinosaurs. I only do dinosaurs. I only did life art, drawing art because I couldn't do straight lines. I couldn't do straight lines because I didn't try to do more straight lines. Maybe because I thought that for some reason if I was drawing with a ruler, I was cheating or not being a good artist. Sometimes you do need to just start utilizing it as a tool. Start doing things differently and correctly. That's okay. there's anyone on the planet who can tell anyone this, sometimes you gotta do stuff wrong. I don't really actually care who or what you are or what you believe. Sometimes you have to do stuff wrong. I want to be at least an example of that. That's okay, and that it's okay. That it's okay. I think there's way too much emphasis on doing things right when what matters is doing the right thing. Doing the right thing is not the same as doing what's right, at least in my opinion. At least in my opinion. Go to hell. My lo-fi ghosts. Oftentimes, doing what's right, doing the right thing, is much more subjective, I think. I did that mainly for an anchor point, but I don't know if it was the way to start that. Does mean that my whole shit is kind of big. And this might end up being the whole stream. Simply because some days are just like this. I'm just going slow. I will say, though, man, I've gotten a lot of work done. A lot more work done than I'm necessarily even really known for, I feel like. I've just been hammering away, honestly, and yeah, really glad. I'm really glad I have been. I feel like I've at least broken through a front that I kind of really struggled with for a long time, which is having the time and discipline and confidence to just keep working on things. I think that is a really difficult thing for anyone, honestly. You think that actually, if it was anyone else, I would have quit by now. I don't know why I don't. I think at this point, it's a little bit of a combination of stubbornness and just, why would I? I don't see any reason to. Until I physically can't do anything anymore, I don't see any reason to stop. I always maintained that the strange... I don't know how I came to this point, because I only started doing it because it was like, screw it, I'm just gonna start making shit. Hello, Ligma. I started off with the idea that if I can't do this to nobody, I shouldn't do it at all. And I do think that's a hard thing for a lot of people. I don't know why my brain is broken in a certain way that actually no. In some ways, I've had moments where I'm like, man, kind of I kind of like doing the that way. I don't know. You caught me in an awkward time. I don't know. Processing. I'm always processing. Why use your stream to process? I don't know, man. I don't have any other time to do it. Oh, fuck. That was my first mistake. How are you, Ligma? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for giving me that fun face. I definitely want to change that, though. That's too small. At this point, if you're joining, you can turn off, but... Listen, I turned off pre-roll ads. You can't turn off the existential dread. That's a part of the package. I'm sorry. If you don't want to hear the existential dread, this definitely is not the channel for you. Existential dread is like part of my fucking brand. Not you, just anyone. anyone who is here for the existential dread, I appreciate you. Absolutely. I appreciate anyone at this point who puts up with anything that I do, but I've noticed that that has been much less of a problem as I have gotten older, because actually people do like the things I do, and I am glad that people like the things I do. I wished I understood why people didn't like the things I did for a long time, but I'm glad that people do now, no matter what. Why? Is it because what I'm talking about? Don't worry about it. Actually, don't worry about it. I was just rambling. You caught me rambling. Shit. There's nobody here for a while, so I had to talk about something. So whenever I start talking about something, when I don't have anybody else here, when I don't have anybody to talk to, because I'm streaming by myself, I start rambling what's on my mind. And what's on my mind, when there's nothing else for me to talk about, is existential dread. I'm sorry. That's my life. Hmm. Yeah, I want to. I just am super disappointed that I really can't. I don't have time. I don't have time and the resources. I do want to get in on Silk Song as soon as possible, though. That shit's gonna fucking slap. I am excited for Silk Song, so I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine, Ligma. I really am. Gotta remember, when I talk about existential dread, it's with the idea of philosophy and wanting to process what it's like to be alive. Like a cool kid. Always remember, I do actually want to make the shit I talk about entertaining, first and foremost. Whether or not we talk about anything serious is something else, but at least it'll be stupid. That's always remember. At least I want to make it dumb, entertaining way. I can't help it. I've been influenced by my favorite stupid sad boys: Tim Rogers, Don Hertzfeld, and Brian Wirtz. Brian Wirtz? Yes. Yes. There's a and Brian David Gilbert. Sometimes the funniest people that you know making stupid stuff on the internet think way too much. I'm one of them. I think way too much all the goddamn time. That's why I try not to think. I will admit, would be lying. I think that there has been these like moments of real promise, and then like the things that I'm doing just completely feeling like they're tanking for no reason, and it is something that I am cognizant of from the standpoint of, actually, I know I'm not the only one, and I know that this is a part of the process, but fucking Jesus. It's so weird, too. It feels random, and I think I've definitely heard people talk about that it just feels goddamn random when things just decide to actually start doing things, and then suddenly everything just goes quiet, and you're like, why? It's just weird. It's very, very weird. It is stressful. I'd be lying. I'd be lying to say it wasn't stressful. And I think anybody who does anything like this is stressed whenever it's like this, because it's like, what works? Sometimes there is even the feeling. I was talking about, like, I don't want to just do what works. Because in my experience, even something only works for so long, and then people go, now what do I do? Because what's working no longer works. I don't have that problem. Nothing I do works. Haha! Well, I'm 32, so you're on point, Lig. But don't worry, I've been this way since I was 17, probably. I would say even earlier than that. Existential dread has been with me my entire life. Ever since I started thinking about things, whether I was right or wrong about them, I certainly did be a little bit too philosophical about it. But again, like I said, that's just what I do. That's why I'm like, eh. I would rather be, I would rather hope that saying all this and you go, wow, what a weirdo, than being like, wow, I can't listen to this. I don't know. I hope not. You can't. I don't know what else to do. I give up. I'm gonna do it any. I give up. I'm gonna do it anyways. That's why I'm like, remember this. I guess. Also remember this. Like I said all that, and then I laughed. I can fucking laugh at it. You should. A lot of what I kind of found a combination of my philosophy and sense of humor on is the combination of the absurdism of everything, because not to get too grim, I mean, like, it's fucking rough. It's rough right now. It's rough right now actively, and it's always been rough, I think. I think people forget it's kind of always been a little rough. I think it's been rough for a very long time. It's been rough my entire life, both inside and outside of it. There's no changing that. So why not laugh at it? God knows. God knows. That's my whole stipulation. Like, I think the mature thing to do is to try to laugh at all the crap, because it's all crap. Might as well take the piss out of it. At least helps. Make sure that the crap doesn't decide to actually be a problem. That's why, hot take, I don't like the second Deadpool movie. Why would you take the thing that is his coping mechanism and then remove it? It's not that characters can't have serious moments and stuff, or like stop joking, but it's literally Deadpool. His whole thing is the only way that he copes with his problems is by taking the piss out of them. So why would he stop taking the piss out of them? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Works for some people. I certainly tried. Didn't work very well. I have to admit, didn't work very well. Oh, I have to merge this down. I'm not gonna work with that. Oh no, now I have to erase my guidelines. Well, that's what I get for drawing on the wrong layer and then not wanting to redraw it. We'll say today. I will only apologize once. I don't know. I think today I'm just like doing okay at my work, which honestly it has taken this long. I feel like I'm still working, which is more important. Where did it go? Ruler likes to disappear sometimes. Wait, no, I was about to say, no, wait, really, where did my ruler go? I feel like I did a lot of good work the last couple times, and this time I'm not trying to phone it in. I'm like, this is what I'm capable of. Oh, well. Said, if I do that, then we make an incline. I don't know how to do math, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. I need to do math. Hold on. Hold on. Your boy is cooking. Hold on. Works, it works, right? If it works, it works. Sometimes you just gotta do what works. And it certainly could be worse. Could be getting salty. I could be getting salty. I would never do that. That was weird. Oh, good. Thanks, Ligma. Oh, Hydrate Man. Thank you. Hydrate Man. I hope Hydrate Man actually appeared. mainly say that because I did do an oopsie once. Oh shit, I should check that actually. Nope. God damn it. Oh, god damn it. It's not what I wanted to grab anyways. Thank you. Sorry. I remembered, and then I forgot, and then I just now remembered things were not positioned correctly. But thank you for the hydrate, man. Now let me fix it and have him appear like proper. Why is it gonna be like that? Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta be like that? No, I got it. I got it. I got it. It's on me. This one's on me. Part of it is one day I accidentally moved it, and then it moved for probably everything, and then it didn't fix itself because this OBS is broken. I needed to go out of my way to fix it, and then I forgot, which happens. There we go. Oh, why is it so small? The hell? That's weird. I don't know why I did that. Now let me move it. Oh, oh, that's why. Why is it? Losing my mind. There we go. Get in there. Yeah, yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it, Hydrate Man. For you, Hydrate Man. I need to figure this out. My sometimes my shit gets unbounded. Let me actually check. Now it should be fixed. Not quite the same, so I'll have to fix it later, but I'll have to fix that later. But sometimes my mouse gets unbounded from the screen that it's supposed to be on. Oh. Okay, I need to end test alert. Oh shit. Make sure he actually comes off screen and on screen. I don't know why that has such a weird boundary, but whatever. Sometimes, so the main place that this happens that's really annoying is on Helldivers. Helldivers, sometimes sometimes it becomes unbounded due to something with borderless window mode, and I don't know why. And when it does become unbounded, it decides to make my mouse go to other screens, and if I'm doing something really fast, I will click on another screen on accident, and when I click on another screen on accident, it will sometimes drag stuff on accident. So, it's a real problem, actually. This might be something I might have to come back to. I don't know why. I was feeling really good about this profile, but I'm not feeling very good about this top-down. Don't know why. This is one of those days. This has been one of those weeks. It's been one of those months. It's been one of those years. It's fine. Yeah, we'll come back to this. I'm not feeling it. What I will try, here's what we will try. I'm gonna finally do this. So what I need to do. What am I doing? I need to lock that layer. I hope that works. I'm gonna do that in the future. I'm gonna start locking the layers in my shit. That's what I need to do. But I want to start painting a background. I'm gonna try to anyways. I don't know what the vibe is today. Don't. Not a fan of it, actually. Kind of not a fan of it, actually. I think recently I've just been all over the place. I think I've been all over the place. Look up some resources. Let me look up. That's that. That's too small. Look up inside the Struggle. Perfect. I want to start with so this will be difficult for me because I'm not super used to this kind of stuff, and there's a couple options we could do here. I think the inside can start with this. I also need to find a brush I want to use. I think I want to use. Well, let's see what this has. This has paint and oil. Let's try an oil. Tail filbert flat. Interesting. Oh wait, that's why it was on opacity. Well, it does have interesting. Hmm. I want to do oil painting first. I think I want to do oil painting first. And I just need to start working with flats. Blue. Like me a metallic blue. Hmm. Now this is something that's going to be a new challenge for me that I've never really done before. I just have to start doing something. Can't keep making. I can't keep making folds on that. Actually, I need something a little bit more diffuse. So I do need it to be. I do need it to have like an opacity of 50. A little bit bigger. And mainly, I just want to start filling in some spots. About how thing kind of works together. Yeah. I'm gonna start filling in colors in places. I gotta still be cognizant of where I'm putting certain stuff. And I'm just using, I want to use the background as like a guide, essentially. That's the big thing, is I need to use the background as like a guide. And then the floor, I'm gonna make a little bit darker. Okay. Try that first. We're gonna try darker first, and then I want to go from there. This will make like a red. just like that. This will also make kind of red. And I want to start with more muted colors, so that way kind of go back on some stuff I need. I want this to be much more building on itself. Yeah. I want it to be consistent. Now this is, I might have messed up. We'll see. Oh no. Okay, that plays nicely. In fact, I didn't think it was going to play that nicely. Interesting how that works. So I'm going to use now the darker one. Nope, too dark. Okay, yeah, I see how I'm going to use this too. Do that, and then we're going to do a little bit darker. Just going to fill it in. Oh, I'm going to fill it in for now. Because I want to paint over it. I want to paint over it, no matter what. And knowing that that's interesting. I've never seen that work that way. Okay. I will take a break here in a minute. We'll chat. Remember, if you don't want ads, I'll have subscriber chat while it goes. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. And if you want to see what we talk about, always feel free to go back and rewatch the VODs. That's the big thing to remember. I want people to watch the VODs. I do actually want people to watch the VODs. Like, I do this because I want people to engage with my work inside and outside of when I'm live. That's the big thing. And even if that's not right, I don't want to do it because it's right. I want to do it because it's different. So just remember that. Though it does make me wonder, like, this is the problem now. Like, now I feel encouraged to stop, and I'm like, I don't want to stop for 3 minutes. I'm on a roll. But I also don't want to be like, at least I can drink some more water. I'll take this time to, like, drink water and stuff, too. That's important. It's tough. It's really tough. I definitely still am like, I don't like it. I definitely don't like doing it. So I want at least that to be like a reassurance to anybody out there. I don't. I genuinely don't. It's not something I particularly enjoy doing. Um, I want because I want people to be able to watch my stuff. I want people to be able to watch my stuff without interruptions. I do. Um, if I honestly like, if I could turn off ads flatly, I would, but it seems like Twitch is incessant that that option just doesn't even exist anymore, as far as I can tell. You have to have ads. I gotta do what works in that respect. But I don't like it either. Really don't. Kinda sucks. Yeah. But at least we're trying. We're trying to adapt. We're trying to adapt. I'm trying to adapt. Doing my best. Doing my best, and I appreciate you guys. I will say, I'm excited for this game. We'll be launching in October. We'll be starting our first play at probably the first Friday of October will be when the game starts. The first Friday of October is going to be the 3rd. October the 3rd. Probably have waited to... I'll say it again after the ad break. I have to say everything twice. Ooh. Ooh da boo da boo. Get some coffee. I'll get some coffee too. I will say, oh no, you can't see this. Why did that pop up there? But yeah. Oh boy, the ads are about to end. Oh boy, the ads are about to end. I hope. I just hope. I just hope. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to everybody who was here live. The people in the VOD got to hear what I was talking about. Don't worry, it's our secret. It's not. You want to know? I do recommend definitely go check out the VOD channel because that's the ultimate goal. I mean, like whether it's right or wrong, it is what I'm trying to like develop for the like long form media. Is it's always been for me about wanting people to just chill and hang out and watch. It's something I've always kind of actually been proud of is that my channel has worked that way a little bit. Like it has operated pretty well on that like feeling that people come in and kind of watch. I want people to watch is more what I want. So whether that's right or wrong, it is what the goal is for me. That trying to a couple of different things. Let me do something really fast. All right. Definitely want this to be steely. I definitely want it to be steely more than anything else. That actually need I'm just doing the whole thing, but the inside of that needs to be a lighter color. This is something that I've learned when it comes to whilst you can use a lot of negative color and stuff, like sometimes a lot of painting is just going back with a different pigment a lot of times. I just ooh, I like that. I need what paint mix? Wait, what brush setting? I need angle down. Yeah. Ooh, I like that effect. All I wanted to do was kind of like white out in the middle, but this is the thing that I do like that painting does when you like start getting into painting. It's really wild how painting is more about utilizing medium to create an effect than it is to perfectly detail something sometimes. I'm struggling a little bit. Oh, now I need it the other direction, actually. Huh, interesting. Interesting. I don't know how that works. Oh, are you really? Hmm. How is it doing that? That's interesting. Interesting. I don't know what it's doing there. I'm trying some stuff. I've never used this brush before, so... It might be... a little better. Hmm. We're gonna do something else. We're gonna go do something else. This is... I'm hitting my head against a brick wall there, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I like that effect, actually. Did I put that on a different layer? That... That's so... Oh. Really have to get in there to go over some stuff, apparently, unless you... That's fine. I have to remember that, then. Kind of like that as far as, like, getting certain kinds of effects to work, then. Yeah, you get stuff like that. That's interesting. Let the medium do some of the work, too. That's something that I've kind of learned. I don't know what it's doing right now, but sometimes you just gotta let it do its thing. Like, I have no idea why it is doing that, but I'll take it. It's so weird. Sometimes it does its own thing. I don't even know why it does its own thing like that. I don't know how it's rendering that, but it looks weird and cool. I'll take it. There we go. Interesting. Just gonna let the medium kind of speak for itself. Then start adding little splashes. Down a little bit. I don't know why this is what I wanted to do today. Who knows? Sometimes you just start doing stuff and you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I do have to remember, I'm going to turn this off. That's not too bad, actually. Like, I turned that off, and that gives me something to work with. Still don't understand how this brush fucking works, but, we are. Here we are, doing my thing. I don't know how any of it works. But it does look cool. Sometimes the brush works, and sometimes it just does its own thing, and I'm just like, I'm just going with it. Like that. Why did it go that way? But it didn't go that way. But it did go that way. But it didn't go that way. I think at this point, what I have to do is, like, if I want that, yeah, I have to go to a different layer. Let's try something like that. Interesting. Is there a way to dry the brush, is the question. That's fine, paint mix. How do I clean the brush? Paint inside on. Is that what I was doing earlier? I have no idea. Something like that. Gotta remember I could do something like that. And then inside here. Adding light fixture. Adding a light fixture. I gotta remember I gotta use multiple layers. If I want the paint to mix, I gotta use the same layer. If I don't want the paint to mix, I gotta use a new layer. That's really what it comes down to sometimes. And I will say this looks cool. Like, this looks dope as shit, actually. Too dark. Not that dark. That immediate. Still too immediately dark. Still too immediately dark. There we go. Gotta just a little bit at a time. So that's what we need. It's a little bit at a time sometimes. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool, actually. I like that a lot. Oh, that looks cool. There we go. That's a cool effect. That's a cool effect. Yep, yep, yep. I like what I'm doing with this. This is what I was wanting to be more doing anyways. Said I was wanting to do the painting today, and I'm glad I started the painting because that is what was on my mind. Was doing more of this kind of stuff. So a little bit finer. Outline that door. Actually, a little bit better than that. Like this, right? Like that. Oh, that looks good. Same thing here. Into the door. Actually, hmm, want frame of the door like this, right? This maybe? Have some more depth. I'm wanting the depth to show up there. There, that's better. Ish. That's better-ish. I'm gonna blend some of this together. Like that. That together. That. And I want to maybe Maybe if I do this right. Yeah, graphite. Does it not interact with that? Oh no, it does. It definitely does. Merge this down. Pull that in there. Media here. Yeah, I'm going for it. Pull that lighter color. Whew. This is hard. This is one of the hardest things I've done, I feel like. I want to take a light color. Probably just straight up white. Try a couple of different things. No, it's not going to want to interface with that. Lighter. That light. Want that feeling that like they're the best lit areas. Interesting. What if I work backwards with this? What is this gonna do? I'm just experimenting here. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't even know if this will work. But it is something to keep in mind. This is a lighting effect that I'll have to keep in mind. I'm gonna wash everything out a little bit. I'm gonna wash everything out a little bit, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna add, like, contrast. Mr. Bob Ross always reminded that a lot of artwork is just light versus dark. Going back in, you make the lighter things darker, and you make the darker things lighter until you have a good medium. Contrast. Happy. Worth a shot. See what'll happen. I like actually what that did. I actually do like what that did. Sometimes you just gotta work with what you got. Sometimes you gotta work with what you got, and you gotta just keep trying something. What? See, that lightened a lot in there, which is very, very helpful. Softened some stuff. A bit more dark. That's going behind. Then, I actually need to take this color, make another layer. It's that. If I do it correctly, I can just erase it. Just like that. Now I'm painting like Mr. Ross. Now that's painting like Mr. Ross. I like that. That style does look quite good. I like that quite a bit. And I want take. See, what other brushes do we have? Do I have? I want to take this and I want to go really light. I'm gonna start adding some detail work here. The big thing with painting is making the brush do the work for you, which is tough, I think. I think it's a tough thing to do, is make the brush do all the work for you. I think it's one of the things I struggle with the most. Actually, I do want that layer, making streaks. Streaks are going to be important for blending and stuff. Uh, I want there to be like some darker is the thing. Definitely needs to be darker above the lights. That goes without saying. Need this maybe? Go behind? Ooh, interesting. I can. I didn't think that was gonna work. Forget that I worked on a lot of transparency, which is gonna help. So do stuff like this. I want to darken pretty much everything behind the lights. And then the lights themselves. A little bit of darkening as well. Actually, in fact, another one. Make this darker. Hi, Silos. Thank you. Welcome. Where have you been, young man? Hope you're doing well. Everyone's doing well. I hope everyone is doing okay. Ah. Ah, gotcha. Ain't that just the way? Dogs wanting to shit in the middle of the night is like, I totally get you. Henry wants to shit so bad in the middle of the night sometimes, he comes to me to let him out, and I'm just like, Jesus. Jesus! I'm not gonna not let you out, I just. Jesus. Gilbert. Let's get up to it. That's fine. I'm glad this is looking good. A little bit more. Found on the other side as well. I'm excited. I'm excited to use this system. Mothership sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Mothership sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, no matter what. What this actually? So I need. Hold on. Hang on. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing Mothership, which is a fairly recent system. It I had to look it up recently because I was like, somebody was like, "Is that an older game?" And I was like, "No, I think it's pretty new." And it was actually officially released back in 2014 or 2024, not 2014. And I'm excited. It's got a lot in it that I really like. That really jives with me. Now you can see why there's such a focus on survival space horror. I do recommend the Quinn's Quest review of it if you want to get an idea of what the system is going to be like. And I mean, I am genuinely excited to see what we can do in it, given that a lot of our focus is going to be on performance. And as time has gone on, even though we've changed streaming every like how we handle it over time, I do want to maintain that streaming is just the avenue that we've done a lot of this stuff on. So do remember that if we're going to stream even a tabletop game, I think it works best that we will try to respond to chat between scenes is typically what we do is we'll try to respond to chat between scenes, but if we're in the middle of a scene, we just won't be able to respond. Just know that. Know that everybody will be focused on the game. Be for the best. Won't be able to respond to chat because we'll be focused on what's going on. I will say, I'm glad it looks good. I feel like today I'm a little bit out of it, but that's fine. It happens. I did sleep okay, but I think I woke up and just was like, but I don't want to get out of bed, which is always the worst feeling. I hate that feeling. Sucks when you're like, I actually slept okay. Too bad my body still doesn't want to move. So I'm not saying I'm intentionally phoning it in, but I definitely feel like I'm not running on all cylinders, even though I'm really trying to. I'm really trying to, I promise. Take my time, Lord. Add medium as I go. That's better. We will be. That's the Silos! I've been working on this for months. I've been hyping it. Of course I would. It's the whole reason why I did this. Nobody listens anymore. It's fine. It is the reason why I did this, though. You're so late. It is part of the reason why. Oh, wait, what? What, the review? Nah, I don't want to be that guy. Oh, well, there you go. I will say, this is something that's actually helped me that I'm just like, uh, uh, I like just do this now, and I'm like, this is probably for the best. If I stopped using the word it. I've stopped using the word it. I just stopped using the word it. I don't even use the word it if I can even if I have like the subject in the sentence, because it's like it's too ambiguous. The word it is a bad word. The more I've run into the word it, it's a bad word. And the reason why I made that say that specifically here is it's just like I just didn't have context because it implies that I know what I said. Ironically, it just doesn't work with my brain. The word so like in trying to use the word it in attempting to use the word it just leaves me slightly confused sometimes due to uh the kind of nature of the word it a little bit. Uh-huh. Well, that's because we're actually talking about just the singular word it. It's the subject. The word it is the subject. Because like oftentimes if you just say it and a streamer like said something stream of consciousness, they're not going to register what it would imply when somebody responds. At least not for me. If other people can do it, I can't. I just can't. My brain apparently is bad. My brain is apparently bad. It can't do it. My brain can't do it. So I try to avoid using the word it actually, or if I do use the word it, then I'm being lazy. It's more of the laziness of it that I've just realized is just like it's using the word it, and if somebody doesn't know what you're talking about, it's because the word it was used without establishing what the context for it was. And I do that. So exactly. That's why it's like it's it is better when you're responding to something to just also put what you were wanting to respond to into the sentence, especially if you're in chat. It's not worth it. Again, if it's stream of consciousness, then I'm not going to remember what the hell I said to be able to make a response, unfortunately. That's just how it goes. Mm. I'm just having a hard time focusing today. I think I am having kind of a tough time focusing today, which is a shame. I can't really lock in. Oh well, it happens. But it looks good. I feel like I'm not doing my best, unfortunately. There we go. I start in from. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I did mention that I was just like woke up pretty. I didn't sleep bad. Just want to get up. I don't know. Sometimes you just lie there. You're just like I don't want to move. I don't want to move. Saturday. which sucks because I'm like, no, I do want to. That's my kind of problem. Is that for me is a trap. It's not me actually not wanting to do anything. It's me for some reason having a dumb moment. A little bit. Who knows? Maybe I am full of shit for that, but I don't know. I'm not I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, that's for damn sure. There. There. I also have been working a lot, so there's also that. I have been. I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of good work too. Thank you. It's just weird, weird to me. I don't disbelieve you. I just am mad that it took this long. People tried to convince me I wasn't. I don't know why. And I don't know why they worked so hard to. I only get stuck on that because I never thought I was a bad artist. Other people did. I should have zoomed in. I didn't know what this brush was doing. That is cool though. More flat. Oh, that's what that. Okay, interesting. Make kind of like a ridge there. Okay, that. I need to try a couple of different ones. Detail, filbert, glaze, chunky. Glaze too. Not really what I expected actually. Does it work? Self better is the question. And I mean, this is still a good start. No matter what, this is still a good start. Getting good work done, that's what matters. Good blending tool, actually. That I was not expecting, was this to be so good at blending. this. Gotta just apply the medium. Apply the medium and do my best. Ah, hydrate, man. Fixed it. Didn't even know it was broken. Uh. Yes. Yes. Push it. I want to go lighter on this. I don't know why. There we go. That's what I was. Hmm. This is the tough part for me too, is trying to get all of this to work. I'm gonna have this go through a little bit. That's what matters. I'm gonna do what works. Need it to bite out that way. This to this. I'm like, I need the floor to be more consistent. I mean, it's coming together. No matter what, it is coming together. That's what matters to me. I have to remember. Go that way, right? Something like that. And up. Back and forth. Back and forth until it gets the effect I want. Welcome back, Silos. There we go. That's going okay. That's going alright. Still not quite what I want, but it's better than nothing. I need to. Sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you do just gotta kind of go over everything until it works the way you want it to. That's how painting works. That's why I've had painting described a lot as like more like sculpting than makes sense. Get rid of that now. Put it later. I need this to be consistent. I do like those streaks in there though, but we need this to be consistent. Change this back to the flat. It pull this down, down. Up maybe to the ceiling. And I want to do like that. Like that. Be cognizant of the things I'm doing. It's difficult sometimes. Sometimes I don't actually have the brain power, okay? I'll try, but I don't actually wanna. There. Down, down, bridge down. Something more like that. And why every surface needs like a definitive color. That. In like that. There we go. Like that. It's that? No. Can't. At least something. It's at least something. I feel like I'm really struggling with this right now. But at least it's something. Art's hard, guys. Always remember that. Art's hard. Art is actually very difficult. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, this shit is hard. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try something thinner. Layer. That there. Right? Level with the floor. There. There we go. Oh! I'll see you all in 3 if you don't have subs. Now this will be the test. Silos, if you're still there. Oh, you just did. So Silos, are you still there? We're testing this. Saying screw it. I'm gonna try something that works. I don't like it, but I have to try something sometimes. I have to try something sometimes. This is the something I'm trying. I hope it works. I do actually hope it works. I hope it helps. I hope it helps. Main reason why I'm doing it. I hope it helps. Hope it helps with some things. I hope it helps with people who genuinely like. If you do like, if you don't like when pre rolls happen, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't. I just never thought it was gonna be that much of an issue. I really didn't. I thought it would be like, sure, whatever. But people who are gonna want to watch are gonna want to watch. I have since realized maybe people are a bit more impatient. I head first into shame. They want this to go. I want it to go like that. Now I need a thin. Can't help it. Need my thin. Need a thin brush sometimes. That's interesting. Never considered doing that before, actually. That's interesting. I never considered doing that before. Oh, I need to. We're on break. I should have stopped. This is gonna be hard for me to get adjusted to. Is the problem? This is what I'm worried about. Is I'm gonna keep forgetting to stop. Yeah. And just hang out for a second. I don't want to stop. I don't want to take a break. Happening. Ooh! How did I do that? That's not even where it was supposed to go. Computer. Sometimes my computer does things and I'm like, how? How'd you do Well, the good news is I definitely have this shaping up a little bit better, but I definitely was. It took me a second to get here. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you gotta beat your head against the brick wall of attempt before you find something that you actually really like. I think that's an accurate enough name for it. Do something like that, right? Willing to go back over it. What? A little bit thinner. Mm, this. Interior design is hard, even when you're keeping it simple. There we go. Burnt down, down. Interesting. Works. Does work. That is a neat effect that it when it does that. God, I can't imagine taking so many passes at that though. I thought. I want to like add like some more effect. Little bit of corrode. Not that much though. That's the problem. Adding a little bit there, a little bit here. Welcome back, everybody. I was paying attention. It's hard. It's difficult. I'm not used to it. Getting used to it. Still getting used to it. Still doing my best. Question is does this look good? Does this even look good? Looks flat. My problem. I'm like, I think I'm getting like it down. I just try something like this. I need to do this. So we need to go here. Merge these down. Merge down. Merge down. Create that. Bam. I need a line here. I need a line here. Establish. That's what I need to do is I need to establish ceiling. A little bit better. In fact, ceiling still is not quite well enough. This like a wall. Okay. You know, I've never understood the word bulkhead. I don't know what that's supposed to describe, actually. I just know it's a ship thing. I just know it's a ship thing. Can't I do this? Apparently I could do it this way. I can't do it the other way. Sometimes you just gotta flip everything over. A different angle. Well, hey. That is better. Wait, no, that's right. Yeah. I don't want it to be that thick, though. I definitely want it to be soft. What about round? What about filbert? That's better. I'm trying to reintroduce it without overpowering it. Part of it is I'm like, the one thing I'm not doing very well right now is I'm not being very careful. I'm just not being very careful. I should be more careful, but I'm not. Being way too in it. I'm being way too in it. I mean, this is a good start, but it's definitely feeling very like I'm bleh. I'm bleh. I might call it here. I need to take the rest of the day, I think. I didn't think today was gonna be this much of a blah. I woke up. I woke up. At least I woke up. No, there's that. Sometimes you just gotta take those. And I did do it. Did do it. It's been rough, I think, for a while now, and it's been kind of on a bit of um a dip. There's been a bit of a dip, and I'm trying to adjust to it. I'm trying. It's at least a start. I'm a little bit disappointed, but because I thought I would get more done. I wasn't expecting to fight the media that much. I really wasn't. Especially given how I've been like, man, I've been on it. So, you know, sometimes you start like doing really, really well at something, and then you go, heck, happens. It's weird. The off days sometimes are hard to predict and adjust when they'll happen. And they'll happen, they'll still happen, but still. I've been in an off, like, it's been in a little bit of a trek for me recently. I've been a bit on and off bent for a little bit, and I'm like, man, I'm trying. I'm just trying. Hopefully some stuff will improve here soon, I hope. Really struggling now. I don't know why. Yeah. I should just take what I have right now. I think it's at least a good start. It's at least a good start. This is what this is where I wanted to be anyways. This is about what I wanted to get done. Um I got a lot of the flats down. I gotta start working on everything else. Uh I mean, that's part of the process. That's part of the process. Maybe, kind of. I wouldn't say I got what I wanted done. I got started. Kind of hoping to get more done. Um. Oh God. It's not fair. I don't feel like I should be. It should be. It does not feel like I'm doing more. I don't know. Doesn't it doesn't. It's weird. I'm in a weird spot. I'll be honest. It does not feel like I. It feels like I'm in an awkward spot where I need to be doing more than I'm capable of all the time, and it really gets on my nerves. And it's frustrating too, because it's like, eh, eh, oh well. But hey, I got this done, and I started that spaceship. I started started this. Oh, not that. Started that. So hopefully, you know, hopefully I got some good work done. I did get some good work done. I like the design of this shuttle. Yeah, I do like the design of the shuttle. I don't know why. I was like doubting myself for a second for some reason. Don't know why. Happens. Oh well. Do think I need to work on this a little bit more, obviously. But yeah. Yeah. I got some stuff done. Not as much as I wanted though, but me. It's just one of those days. Some days it comes easy, some days you feel like you're pushing Sisyphus himself up that goddamn hill. Oh well. But hey, it was still good, and I still got some stuff done. Alright, I'm gonna do my thing, and then we're going to raid out before the end of every stream. We're gonna make a prompt together, and then I have to draw that prompt. If you want to participate in chat, all you gotta do is type in chat. Whatever chat says, I'll use as a reference, and then I will draw it, and then share the image before we raid out. Let's move this over here first, back where you belong. Your word is fish. Your word is fish. Fish on deck A of the spaceship. Why fish on the deck of on deck A of the spaceship? Why fish on the deck A of spaceship? Well, I'm gonna open the rest of my stuff. If you want to add to that, I'll give you guys the time it'll take for me to open everything else up, and then I have to draw it. All right. Do, 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 do. Let me think. Let me use my brain for 2 seconds. I need to use it for 2 seconds. I actually, at first I was like, no, I'll use that. And I was like, no, I kind of like the crayon a little bit better for very stupid reasons, actually. I like it because it's a little bit easier to draw with, actually, than I thought the other one would be easier, and then it wasn't. Having this big chunky one helps a little bit with certain very specific things. There we go. All right. Stick around to the very end, everybody. I also do a bit of a closing bit. We do raid after every stream, so that way the daywalkers in our chat can keep watching. Just everybody else out there, make sure to go unlock your doors and windows. It's no longer lunchtime for daywalkers, and thank you for joining, everybody. Hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the show. If you're able to join the live show, thank you for stopping by and chatting and watching. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for taking the time to go on back and rewatching the VOD. We appreciate it. If you're out there and you enjoyed this, and you want to see more of what we're up to, I recommend scrolling down below and following. Clicking any of the links. There's a link to all the socials and the Discord. We're posted we go live on any one of those platforms, as well as anything else that we're up to, and just generally you can come hang out with the rest of the community there. Good time on the Discord. Speaking of which, a shout out to our community there and everyone who follows. You guys are a wonderful audience, and we appreciate you. If we do anything particularly entertaining or noteworthy, feel free to clip it and share it on the internet. Just make sure to also hashtag with MCCanary or link it back to the stream so people can find more of the good stuff we do here. And if you want to see the stream grow, you gotta let people know. I appreciate that people have been talking about the stream, and I encourage you guys to do it more. It does help me out. It does help us out, and it's just super rad that you guys have been willing to do that, and that we're doing things that you guys want to talk about. Go tell people about the stream. Go tell your friends about the stream. I won't. And as always, a huge thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon, Coffee, and Twitch. Your generosity allows us to continue to expand the stream as well as take on more projects, and the stream would not be made possible without users like you. So we thank you. If you want to see your name added to this list, as well as a couple of the benefits you can get, you could always subscribe directly on Twitch or check out the Patreon page here. It'll show you everything that you can get, and any amount is always appreciated. Once again, thank you. And thank you to our mods do a wonderful job of holding back the robot army and preventing them becoming famous. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. Hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the show. I am glad I was able to do a little bit of drawing today. Hopefully next time I'll get a little bit more done. It's whatever. It happens. I'm just glad we were able to do it. I'm glad. I hope the process, I hope the changes the channel aren't too bad. I hope the whole ad thing is going fine. So get you through housekeeping and get you on your way. Check out the rest of our friends in Goblin Entertainment here. That link tree has links to everyone's channels and everything that they've done and they've been up to, and the rest of my stuff here, which has everything that I post to, so go check everybody out in Goblin Entertainment. Well, let's go just say hi to to Cooter. There aren't too many people on right now, and I know Cooter might be interested in this game, so we'll go ahead and show him what our progress is at. So, go say hi to him. He's doing his makeup day. I guess he's doing a 30-hour stream, the mad lad. So everybody go show him some love and support. He's a good guy. Stick around for that. Otherwise, have a good afternoon. Take it easy. And remember, just gotta keep drawing. Sometimes you just gotta keep doing whatever works. Whatever works is whatever keeps you doing. Sometimes. That's what works. And sometimes you shouldn't use something new. Sometimes you shouldn't use something new. You don't know if it'll work. I mean, it worked. I just didn't know what I was doing. Who knows? I'll try. I keep trying with the oil painting. It looks good. It does look good in some ways. I just don't know what I'm doing with it. So I feel like I'm doing a lot of work that I don't have to, unfortunately. Which is fair. I just, meh. Meh. I thought it was going to work. And it is. I just put more work into it. Sucks.